Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday, and I'm the Director of Operations here at the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's topic, From College to Career, with Bryant Stratton College. Bryant Stratton College is this country's leading provider of high-quality, career-focused education with 20 campuses located throughout Virginia, Ohio, New York, Wisconsin, and an online division. Bryant Stratton College is also a brand new partner of the Imagine America Foundation, so your students can apply for our scholarship, our $1,000 scholarship to attend Bryant Stratton College. If you would like more information about our scholarship programs and how your students can apply, please either contact me after the presentation or visit our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country, desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation is Bryant Stratton College, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how Bryant Stratton College is helping meet this need is Crystal Morgan. Crystal has been working in admissions and with high schools for over 15 years, so you're in good hands today. But before turning the program over to Crystal, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of the presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting. So if you have questions at any point during the presentation, please feel free to click on the Q&A button and ask your question, because we will get to them at the end of the presentation. But we have a hard close at 2:30 p.m. to respect your time. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Crystal Morgan. Crystal, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lee. And we are equally as excited about our new partnership with Imagine America. So today we're going to take the opportunity to talk about some of the challenges facing the healthcare workforce. We'll talk about opportunities in the healthcare industry, and then we'll talk about Bryant Stratton College's path to college and career success. So as we all know, the workforce is ever evolving, and it's important more than ever to consider how your students' education will prepare them for the workforce that is ever evolving. If we take a look at the 1900s, the split between service, agricultural, manufacturing, and other looks a lot different than it does today. In the current career workforce, 80% of all positions are 80% with a service focus, and that includes the healthcare industry. The gap between healthcare job openings and hires is growing, and the growth in new job openings isn't done yet. If we look at the employment in healthcare occupations, it's projected to grow 15% from 2019 to 2029, which is much faster than the average for all occupations, adding about 2.4 million new jobs. Healthcare occupations are projected to add more jobs than any other occupational group, as you can see from the grid over to the right. This projected growth is mainly due to an aging population, which is leading to greater demand for healthcare services. Job openings in healthcare are projected to soar to nearly 1.3 million by 2026. As you can see here, between 2019 and 2029 in the United States, healthcare jobs will grow by 15%. Followed shortly behind that is 9% growth in arts, entertainment, and recreation, 6.2% hotel, food service jobs, and when you combine all jobs, it's 3.7%. So when you think about that, for all jobs, including healthcare, to be at 3.7%, that certainly even emphasizes even more the career opportunities that are going to exist in the healthcare field. What are the contributing things to this projected growth? Obviously, you can see here, it's our increase in elderly population, our baby boomers, increase in life expectancy, which is a great thing, increase in in-home and long-term care, increase in survival rates, more outpatient procedures, And then an increase in plastic and elective surgeries. If you think 50 years ago, we certainly didn't have nearly the number of plastic and elective surgeries that we do today, thus, pushing for that demand for additional healthcare support roles and positions. Growing the healthcare workforce via skilled focused education can really help to address these challenges. If you look at the old way of thinking was I'm going to get into a college, I'm going to get a solid education, earn my degree, and start the job search process. The new way of thinking is let's get into a good and satisfying career and start thinking about what jobs are going to be a great fit. Let's get hands-on level of experience and gain the skills that employers need and are looking for. So when you think about our students graduating high school that are looking to, choose a college, many of them are going to college with the sense of, I need to know what career I'm going to be going towards versus let me go to college and figure out what it is that I want to be when I grow up. And so as a career college, our focus is let's help them to get the hands-on level of experience and let's help them to gain the skills needed and that employers are looking for, because the number one reason that recent college grads don't get hired is lack of experience. So we've talked about the challenges facing the healthcare workforce. So I want to talk about some of the opportunities in the healthcare industry. Today's healthcare industry needs an infusion of new workers. There's a significant need for educated healthcare workers with skills such as networking, professional integration, teamwork, research and evaluation, adaptability, critical thinking and creative problem solving, communication, conflict resolution, leadership, and for those who take a clinical role, patient care. There are 20.5 million current healthcare and social assistant workers, and there's a projected growth in healthcare through 2029, with that 15% growth would equal 23.1 million healthcare and social assistance workers. So for students that are thinking about what would be a great in-demand career field, getting into healthcare and social work are going to be great opportunities. And building upon these skills are going to be what help them to land the opportunities and continue to grow within their current roles. Healthcare education provides educational and career pathing opportunities. The demand in healthcare provides various career opportunities depending on the person's preferences and/or goals, such as what is the type of setting or type of work or field they'd like to work in. This provides opportunity in healthcare education for students to take a phased approach to their education, allowing them to experience the profession before deciding or investing in their next educational or career step. So when we talk with students who have an interest in the career field, we break it into clinical versus non-clinical. Where do they see themselves with the type of work that they would be doing? Do they see themselves clinical, more patient-facing, or non-clinical, more behind the scenes? So on the clinical route, students could become a medical assistant, a licensed practical nurse, a registered nurse, occupational therapist, physical therapist, certified nursing assistant. On the non-clinical side, there's career opportunities that exist such as health services administrator, medical billing and coding specialist, health services administration assistant, medical office assistant, and medical administrative assistant. When talking with students about their goals, outside of breaking it down to clinical versus non-clinical, it's also important to kind of understand what are they looking for in terms of work environment, work hours. For someone who's a little more flexible and, says, hey, I have 24/7 availability, they might be a good candidate for looking at career opportunities in, say, the urgent care or the emergency room. Whereas someone who's thinking, I really want to get in the clinical field, but I'm looking for a more traditional schedule, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 9 to 6. It may be more beneficial for them to look at a family practice or, some sort of doctor's office that runs more traditional hours. So as we work with students, one of the things we seek out from them is how do we ensure that we're putting them on the right path to career success? It's not just about gaining the education, but it's about gaining the education that's going to land them the career and put them on the right path to their future opportunities. So now that we know the challenges facing healthcare and some of the opportunities in the industry, I want to talk about Bryant Stratton College's path to college and career success. So for those of you who don't know, Bryant Stratton College has been around for nearly 170 years, educating tomorrow's workforce. We have 19 building-based campuses nationwide and an outstanding online division. When we take a look at where we're located, earlier I know Lee mentioned we have campuses in Virginia, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Virginia, as well as our online location. But we'd like to make sure that we also highlight the locations that we're talking about today. And the campuses that we're really highlighting today are the locations in New York, Amherst, Buffalo, and Orchard Park. We also have a top-notch career services assistant at all locations focused on preparing graduates for career procurement. When we think about the 3 locations that I just mentioned, some of the healthcare programs of study that they have there locally give our students stackable degree options. And what I mean by stackable career options, if you remember when we talked about really talking with students about their path and clinical versus non-clinical, and making sure that they're not over investing in a career that they're not 100% committed to. Our college gives students the opportunity to take that stackable approach where they could start with a diploma program, move into an associate's, and then continue on to their bachelor's. So our diploma programs locally is the medical office assistant and health services administrative assistant programs. At the associate level, there's an associate's in medical assisting, medical administrative assistant, medical reimbursement and coding, physical therapy assistant, and health services assistant. And for those students who are ready to take that next step and move towards their bachelor's in the healthcare field, we have a bachelor's in health service administration. You can see in our industry-aligned learning environment in the pictures below, our industry-aligned medical wing provides students with the hands-on instruction that will help them gain real-world experience, an experience that today's healthcare employers need and are looking for. In the classroom, students will learn and study theory, learn assessment skills, learn and apply soft skills in a clinical classroom environment, which not only enhance their learning experience, but it prepares them for a successful transition into their healthcare careers. They do all of this under the instruction and guidance of highly experienced and qualified healthcare faculty. Obviously, through the pandemic, we've had to rethink how do we meet our students where they are. Students in our healthcare programs will complete any clinical and skills-oriented classes on site in a safe CDC-compliant environment. For other programs and non-clinical skills-oriented classes, Bryant Stratton College affords our students opportunity to learn in a blended learning environment. There are 2 important components of Bryant Stratton College's blended learning process. The first component is related to instruction. Our blended learning splits the instructional experience evenly between face-to-face class meetings and the virtual instruction that occurs online. The second component is related to virtual online learning. Students will also be engaged in the virtual environment to complete their homework, class preparation, and assignments. But the best part is the students are never alone. The online virtual components of the course can be completed based on the student's schedule. They'll have the same instructor available for feedback, guidance, and support through all of the online virtual activities. And what we continue to say is the best feature of blended learning is the support that the students will receive. They're able to still get classroom interaction with their classmates, access to computer labs. There's a question forum with regular instructor interaction, face-to-face connections, working with career service professionals, direct instructor contact, on-campus and virtual tutoring, 24/7 access, and our virtual library and librarians. We certainly don't want to forget about Bobcat Athletics. I know many of you may not be familiar with our athletics teams, but we are proud to say that our Bobcat athletics team locally in Western New York is made up of men and women's cross country, men and women's basketball, men and women's track and field, men's golf, and up and coming esports. If you have students that are interested in any of those athletic opportunities, they certainly can reach out to our coaches for more information, as well as our admissions department, as they may be eligible for some athletic scholarship opportunities. If you also have students who may not want to play sports but are interested in observing sports, we love the fact that this gives our students the opportunity to come together, show their school spirit, and even if we can't be there in person, we do have streaming opportunities. So why career-focused education? Here's what Gallup News had to say. The benefits of a career-focused education is cost, time, and relevance of courses. Those are the main reasons why students in more recent years have been enrolling in career education or vocational programs or in an associate's degree program. These courses provide a streamlined experience to obtaining the specialized skills necessary to either start their career or to switch jobs. And the outcomes of a career-focused education, 62% of recent grads are employed full-time, compared with 54% of students nationally. 50% obtained good jobs within 6 months of graduating versus 29% nationally. And 52% say their current work is completely related to their major versus 35% nationally. At our local campuses in Western New York, here's where some of our healthcare graduates get hired. You can see here, we've got Buffalo General Medical Center, Tonawanda Pediatrics, OBGYN Associates of Western New York, Ascension Health, the Ellicott Center, and that's just to name a few. We pride ourselves in networking with employers and helping to get our students exposed to internship opportunities with some of these employers. Now, you may be thinking, I have a student that could benefit from a lot of these services that you've mentioned, but they may not be interested in that healthcare route and path that we've been talking so much about. We've spent a lot of time talking about healthcare, mainly because that's where the largest growth and career opportunities are seen. But we also have stackable options to help students that have an interest in legal services, business, technology, and education. So it all starts by providing the resources to your students. First and foremost, all students would be assigned to work with a personal admissions rep. Our admissions staff is here to support your students throughout the admissions process. We offer individual support with the mission of easing the stress off of the college decision process, while ensuring strong dialogue about career fit and success versus solely focusing on the application or their interest. Personal admissions reps are here to be supportive, available, and provide support and guidance. We can do both virtual and on-campus tours with students and parents. We can talk about career fit exploration, and we're here to help with every step of the enrollment process. Our financial aid team is second to none. The level of support the financial aid team provides during the financial aid process allows us to be here with answering questions to carefully and patiently outline each student's financial aid plan, including grants, loans, and scholarships. Our team's mission is to provide a stress-free level of support that takes the stress out of financial aid experiences. So that includes one-on-one financial aid advisement, complete insight into the financial aid plan for students and their parents, answering questions about the general financial aid process, loan, grant, scholarships. And many of our students are even coming to us with the basics of, how do I apply for an FSA ID? How do I complete the FAFSA? And we're able to assist with those as well. Once students have decided through the admissions and financial aid process that this is the college they want to attend, they've selected their program, and they've now determined that college can be made affordable, it's time for them to work with our academics team. Our academics team, from instructor to advisor, are here to support the academic success of each student, because we know the more successful your students are academically, the more likely they are to succeed professionally. Every student has access to an academic team that will go the extra mile to ensure their success. There's free tutoring and advisement, accessible instructors who are versed in the industry within they teach, and a dedicated team committed to each student's academic success. As students near graduation, they begin working with our career services team. Our career services team's primary mission is ensuring that every student and soon to be graduate is prepared for and supported through the career search and acquisition process. Our relationships within the local community provide robust opportunities for graduates regardless of their program of study. They help with things like resume prep and assistance, interview prep to include mock interviews with actual employers, general career advisement, and assistance with locating and leveraging internship and practicum experience. So how can we partner? We have the opportunity to present workshops for you and your students. You can see from the list to the right, we have already pre-built workshops on financing your education, budgeting, high school versus college, personal branding, and that's just to name a few. But we also have the ability to custom build workshops by partnering with teachers and counselors to make sure that we're meeting the needs of your student and your curriculum. We certainly want to make sure we choose the format that works best for you and your students to make sure that the workshops are engaging and informative. So we certainly can do live and in person where we provide all materials and technology needed. But if we find, for your current environment that virtual is what works best, the workshops can be led via Skype, and you can also invite us via a different platform such as Zoom, Google Meet, Google Hangout, Microsoft Teams, or any platform that works for you and your students. Some of the other ways to partner, we can conduct bus trips or field trips, whether those are in person or virtual. We are available to take your students on a tour so they can get a glimpse of college life, see and hear interesting information about their programs of interest, along with many of the resources available. We can host career days where we can work with you to arrange for local employers to present and answer questions about careers in any of the fields in which we offer programs of study. We can host college fairs. Although we participate in local college fairs, we can work with you to design a fair for our local campuses and online education. And then lastly, financial aid fairs. We can work with you to host a financial aid information session available to students and parents that focuses on preparing them for the financial aid process. You play a very important role. Counselors and teachers truly are the career catalyst who will help change and mold lives. You may be the only one giving these students real facts about college and career readiness. High school students need to learn and understand how high school prepares them for college and how college prepares them for a career. You may be the only one that provides them the motivation needed to think about and pursue a successful life after high school, starting with attending college and deciding what college is best for them. You are often the conduit between your student and the college or colleges that are the best fit for your student, their interests, and their career aspirations. So I encourage you, if as you've been listening to today's presentation, there's a student or two in mind or a class that you think could benefit from hearing this information, do your research, make sure you ask questions. But you can go online to our website at bryantstratton.edu. For athletics, it's bscbobcats.com. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Lee for question and answers.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate that. We are now going to open the Q&A portion of our presentation. So if you have a question, feel free to use the Q&A tab there along the top. I'm also going to throw up a poll to ask individuals if they would like us to email them a list of upcoming virtual events that you can pass along to your seniors. If you're interested in that, please indicate on the poll that you would be interested in receiving an email from us with upcoming events for your seniors so we know who to reach out to. So it does look like we have a question here, Crystal. This person wants to know about the SAT or ACT requirements or that may be required or not required in order to go to Bryant Stratton College.
All right, excellent question. So ACTs and SATs are definitely not required, as we do have our own entrance assessments that allow entry into the college and placement assessments to help place them appropriately in their first semester. However, based on ACT, SAT scores, and even GPAs, we do have academic scholarships that could be available to students. So we do encourage them, if they've taken them, to go ahead and share those with us so we can see if they're eligible for any scholarships.
Gotcha. Okay. The second question, this person wants to know about the workshops that you offer. Is that something that, and I know that, we had talked about partnering together to do the social media cleanup workshop, but let's say the high school wants to do a FAFSA workshop. Is that something where you would have somebody present to a classroom of theirs? Would you come into the high school? How would that work as far as virtual workshops?
Yep. And so with any of our workshop topics, as we talked about, they can be custom built to meet the needs of your classroom. So if your classroom's currently operating in an environment where you can have guest speakers, we can certainly come to your classroom and meet with your students in person, obviously following CDC guidelines. If you're doing virtual or blended, we can participate as a guest speaker through your platform of preference. We would provide, again, all of the technology resources, PowerPoints, any activities or assignments, all of that would be worked out in advance. And that way it would be an engaging workshop for your students. And many times we'll have high schools book us for an entire week to come out and talk with the entire junior and senior class.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Yeah, I just went ahead and threw up those the topics there on the slide. So if you have any students who would be interested in going over any of those, it would be a good idea to reach out to schedule a workshop with Crystal. Okay, next question. This person wants to know about housing. Do you have any type of housing that's available, or apartment complex or dorms?
Yep. So for our Western New York market, those 3 campuses, we do partner with a local apartment complex, and we have worked out an agreement for our students and can help partner together roommates. So although not a dorm experience, it is cost, effective housing that's available for students close to the campus.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, I think this concludes our session here. I just want to have a couple of house cleaning items to go over. The first one is that this session has been recorded and will be sent to you likely tomorrow morning so that you can rewatch it if you need to, or show it to any of your colleagues or students. The second is that this will also be placed on our website, which again is www.imagine-america.org. And if you would like any more information on how your students can apply for our scholarship, our $1,000 scholarship to go to the school, please let me know after the presentation. There also will be a quick follow-up survey to determine next possible topics in order to generate feedback for Crystal and I. It'd be very helpful if you could answer the 5 questions. But before closing, I just want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules today. I know that this year, unlike any other, your time is stretched, so we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. I also want to thank Crystal for sharing with us today's presentation and encourage each and every one of you to contact her directly with any future questions. And on behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Crystal and myself, I want to wish you all a great day. Thank you and goodbye.